Hey, hoser, it's James Griffin here, and we are doing a ranked battle on Sea of Fortune. I'm in a Kagero, and there is no enemy radar cruisers at least, but there's a carrier. I haven't been doing a huge amount of a huge amount of World Warships, and I prefer just to do my own replays. So I haven't been doing a terribly huge amount of Warships videos lately, or really anything. I am planning on actually completely reworking my entire workstation so that I can use my new webcam. So I'm not using an Xbox Connect, but yeah, well anyways, suffice it to say that there will be hopefully a lot more in the new year. It'll take me a couple of days to get my shit together, so and I've just been enjoying a couple of days not hugely gaming nearly as much. Anyways, we are I'm initially going to go to AB, and then I realize, wait a minute, there's an enemy aircraft carrier. Yes. So I say, screw this. Fuck that noise, and I'm not going anywhere near AB alone. Especially not with an enemy aircraft carrier and a Kagero. If I'm spotted, I'm dead at this point, so I'm running away. I also have to have my graphics turned really heavily turned down. Just because I'm getting an unusual frame. I'm getting unusual lag, I don't know why. So I have to address that too. So anyways, I am going to head to C. I'm actually not entirely heading to C. I'm going to head in between B and C and act as a vanguard. Fortunately, this enemy carrier is more interested in shooting down our Enterprise's aircraft than he is spotting me or the Loyang. Although he is making absolutely sure that we are not, in the vicinity of his cap, but he's definitely not so much worried about me and our Loyang. So I'm going to jump out, and suddenly a wild Kagero appears. So I'm saying, screw this, I'm getting out of here. I managed to turn just enough. I don't think he's going to be able to torpedo me. He's obviously not, or this will be a really short replay. But I mitigate my mistake. This entire thing is going to be about capitalizing on mistakes. No, I've made a mistake, but I've mitigated my mistake by making sure that that Kagero could not get an angle to fire torpedoes at me, and his torpedoes completely missed. And now I am GTFOing. I'm going to dump my torpedoes in the general direction of that smoke over there. And yeah, dump and run. And there's the enemy Kagero. Now he's in spotting range, but I've got all this shit in between me and that Kagero. So it means that, yeah, it's going to be pretty much me and him. He's trying to break through. He's probably trying to break through so that he can get up here and torpedo our Enterprise. But I'm having nothing of it. No, I missed there. And he's not the only one coming up. I recognize that there's probably more shit coming up here. So I'm trying to get into a position where I can torpedo anything coming through here. Of course, that Kagero is still spotting me, and there's an Amagi. And I'm just waiting for my torpedoes to... I'm waiting for my torpedoes to come off cooldown. I'm expecting the Amagi to basically travel through here and up through there. And there's the Kagero. We're in mutual spotting range. He's again fired more torpedoes at me. And now he's going to pummel me a bit. But I am more interested in that amount, so I'm taking evasive action. Waiting for my torpedoes to come off, slow down, dumping smoke, because they don't have to worry about it. And I'm just going to capitalize on the mistake of that Amagi, who has actually run himself aground. We can't see him anymore, but he's run aground. No, there he is, right there. Yes. Now I'm going to ignore the Amagi and address this Kagero. I'm trying to make my own location. I'm trying to hide my location in case he has a torpedo reload booster. And to keep maneuvering while getting enough more fire on him. So now I am ready to... there goes the... there goes the Amagi. So I'm going to try to put some fire on him. He smokes up. I'm still spotted by aircraft, which is bad because he can still shoot at me. Although I believe that's that fire I set on him. And I'm able to finish him off with guns. So there's an easy 53,000 damage and 2 ships sunk. Now I'm not sure of what I'm going to do, but I do see this Tirpitz making the mistake of coming up here alone. I guess he thought he would have the Amagi and the Kagero with him. But I'm hoping that he's going to continue making the mistake he made, which is sailing right around over here. The enemy aircraft, these bombers and these fighters, are a concern to me, but it looks like they're more interested in spotting the shit down there than coming after me. Of course, the Loyang, being a gunboat, is much easier to spot than I am. But I am briefly spotted by those torpedo bombers, and I take evasive action so that I don't get nailed by the Tirpitz main battery. And I'm afraid that this, I'm afraid that these fighters are just going to come and try to stop me. So I'm actually going to ask their area to change off the fighters. Or I might have already done so, but they went away, so I'm no longer under fire. Yeah, there it is. Can you change them off, please? And then I think, like, okay, he's not going to perma-spot me and let the Tirpitz secondaries just kill me. Alright, never mind then. So now I'm going to capitalize on the enemy carrier's mistake of leaving me unspotted with his lone Tirpitz that's out here, making the mistake of being by himself. I think they're going after our Enterprise, or maybe just trying to break through, but whatever. He is on relatively high hit points, but I'm going to wait until after he attempts to dodge the torpedo, maybe, from this torpedo squadron. And he did actually drop one torpedo, you can see it there. So I'm going to fire one, and I'm going to fire two, expecting him to speed up after dodging that torpedo. And here comes the dive bombers. Now, judging by the amount of damage that these guys are about to deal, I am pretty sure that this Enterprise is running the... Oh! Ow! Yeah, those have got to be armor-piercing bombs. I don't know if Enterprise... and there he goes. I nailed him with a torpedo. Because he was probably thinking that I was maybe down here or something. But what I did was I crossed up above him and torpedoed him from an unexpected angle. So that's one thing that you really should pay attention to. If you're in a Japanese destroyer with these really easy to spot torpedoes, try to make sure you're launching your torpedoes from unexpected directions. So maybe they're not necessarily paying attention. And yeah, allergies are a thing for me even during the winter. So now I'm going to actually run out and engage this Benson. At anything between 7 and 10 kilometers, I am perfectly capable of dealing with this guy, as long as I play it right, because the Americans' shell velocity is so low that I can basically evade everything they're throwing at me. So he smokes up, so I'm going to put one in front and another one behind. But it actually looks like he's coming out of the smoke, and I'm not sure what he's talking about. But it is probably good to take that. Well, maybe not. I detonated him. But you can see how his gunfire, I wasn't even worried about it, because I guess he wasn't very good at aiming. I mean, he probably could have done some damage to me if he wasn't detonated. But he definitely made the right choice not staying in the smoke, but I don't know why he... I'm questioning why he dropped it at all. Maybe he was just trying to get me to fire my torpedoes. Not understanding that the Kagero actually has more guns, and more accurate guns, and that I'm actually very deadly in a Kagero with her guns. I mean, I'm not going to say that I want to go chasing Russian destroyers, but I'm actually, you know, I can solo a kid in this thing under the right circumstances. So I'm actually now seeing I have 4 kills, so I'm going to get really greedy and go for this Lexington. While our Atago and Chapeyev attempt to destroy that Atago and Cap. I won't really say that Benson made any bad choices. I got lucky with him, but he's so far the one. He is so far the one enemy who I've sunk that didn't really make a bad choice. I just got really lucky with him as well. So I'm expecting that the Lexington is going to come up and try to sail through here. I'm also thinking that this guy is not necessarily a very good carrier player. Of course, I'm spotting him, so our guys are shooting at him. And now I'm spotted by him because I'm within range, and oh, look at that! He runs aground. So another mistake to capitalize. Now, I'm not stupid. I know he's going to be backing up, so he's going to fire torpedoes at where he is. One back and one slightly less back in case he realizes that fire. Not stupid. And here comes 2 torpedo bombers. I'm trying to actually do this up here. I don't realize that my unit is disabled. I'm not using it. Oh, and there we go. And there's the Kraken unleashed. So, of course, I have to have the shot at Kraken. Good shit. And now I'm just trying not to get killed. And at this point, we're in good position. We have 2 cruisers, a carrier and a destroyer to their cruiser. So, and our Chapeyev is at full health. And their Atago is at like no health. So I'm thinking, yeah, I'm just going to, I want to try to, there goes our Atago. I'm going to try to get the Atago, but I'm not really expecting to be able to get him. Watch torps. there's our Chapiev firing torps. And I think I know what's going to happen to this Chapiev. Nope, those miss. Spoiler alert, I know the Chapiev dies, I'm just not sure how. Well, it's in a toggle. That thing has 16 torpedo tubes. Yeah, that's it. That's it. I think he's going to get a... Yeah, now I see. The Chapiev is sitting still. So I'm going to fire at him. The Chapiev and the other one kill each other. Alright, so let's look at how we did. We got 300 and... Well, we earned 337,425 credits. That's not exactly what we're going to end up with. 3,215 XP, which is kind of useless, except for the fact that I need, just for getting the daily boxes and shit. 161 free XP, which is not bad, especially since I just got the Nelson. 2 devastating strike, a Kraken unleashed, first blood, not double strike, high caliber, I believe that is. In the end, I did a 124,692 damage, which, seeing as how there's only 7 enemy ships, is actually really good. There's not nearly as much damage that I could do. 33 target hits, 8 with main battery, 8 target hits with the torpedoes, 2 incapacitations. I don't really know what they were. I don't really care. 5 destroyed with the Kraken. Only set 1 fire. And it was kind of a useless fire. Well, maybe not useless. It did cause that Kagero to pop his damage control. And then 7 floods that were absolutely useless because everything I hit with torpedoes instantly died from damage. So I don't even think the flooding did any real damage. Let's see here. I got 2,143 base XP, which is quite a bit. But if we look at the teams here, I got 5 kills, and our Chapiev got the other 2. And our Enterprise did shoot down a lot of, well, not a lot of aircraft, but a fair number. Of course, only myself and the Enterprise survived. But on the other team, their Lexington got 1 kill. And their Otago, well, one of their Otagos, got 4 kills. So really, it was really just 2 ships. I really should have, I really should have complimented the Otago, but I didn't realize until that he did so well until I'm just looking at it here. I just quickly screenshotted everything and went straight to video editing because it was a really good game. Blah blah blah, if you ever see this, good job, man, good job. I also didn't ever encounter him. I wasn't really looking at what was killed or anything, or like who killed what. I was just treating everyone like they knew what they were doing until they screwed up. But I won't say our Enterprise did great, but he didn't do terribly bad. I actually might say that he did better than the enemy Lexington, but neither of the carriers were. No offense, guys, but neither of the carriers were terribly good. I mean, their Lexington did not try to spot me. Our Enterprise actually was very useful, especially to me. He, even if he was just trying to kill that Tirpitz. Yeah, he made it possible for me to kill the Tirpitz. If it was my torpedoes that made him stop and turn, which it might have been. So let's see. I did 55,000. I did over half. Well, not over half, but nearly half my damage to the Lexington. He was at full health. I think it took 4 torpedoes for me to kill the Lexington. I got the Amagi with 4 torpedoes, I think, as well. I could be wrong. It could be like 3 and 5. Actually, 3 and 5. No, the Amagi has really good torpedo protection. So I'm not sure. I hit with 33 shells, but I fired 90. I hit with 8 torpedoes. I fired 40. Still, I did 105,000 damage with torpedoes and 18,000 damage with guns. So that's not a terrible game for Kagero. I did 822 damage with 1 fire, and my floodings didn't have time to do damage. I never try to get floods. Okay, I always just try to kill the shit I'm firing torpedoes at. That way, it's assured. Strike from unexpected directions and never show mercy to your enemy. I finished off the Tirpitz after our carrier bombed him a couple of times. I only had to do 11,000 to him, but he would have been flooding. I got a gun kill on the Kagero, pure guns. I detonated the Benson, and I actually did hit Rob Blah Blah with 1 shell before our Chapev was able to nuke him just after getting obliterated by the Atago's torpedo tubes. I had 39,000 spotting damage, which isn't terrible, with 3 fires caused on my spotting. There was actually 366 potential damage fired at me. I think that was a lot of torpedoes. I spotted 16 torpedoes. If only the Isoroku Yamamoto campaign would actually work for ranked battles. This would have been very good because I have the Spot 250 torpedoes in a destroyer. And this is all rank 8, so that kind of sucks. I am almost done. I think the 3rd mission is that. I traveled 73 kilometers. I took 10,000 damage, which is actually a fair amount. 500 from 2 fires, which I dealt with pretty quickly, and 22 hits from high explosive shells of various origin and caliber. Finally, credits and XP. I earned 337,000, but I also spent 86,000 in repairs and consumables and all that shit. I don't often use like non-XP or money-giving signal flags, and when I do, like during regular gameplay, unless I'm like trying to get something, but I always use them. Like I don't hold back in ranked. So I basically hoard them for ranked. I got 3,200. Anyways, I walked away with 251,275 credits, which is actually not a bad haul. 250,000, pretty good. 3,200 Commander XP. I have a shit ton of Commander XP, free Commander XP, because I have been heavily running my Atago, because I literally just got the Nelson yesterday, and you know, I'm getting 3,000 or 4,000 minimum free XP a game on my Atago with the way I have her set up. So that's where I use all my XP flags, and being a Japanese cruiser main, I've got a 19-point cruiser captain and all that shit. So yeah, that all works great for me. Anyways, that is it for me. Thanks for watching, and have a good one, eh?